Today on Jeep News, we are talking brand new patents and the good or bad news that the CEO has officially given his one-day notice and stepped down. Don't miss out on this video. It's Jeep News, December 2024. Well guys, what's going on and welcome back to the channel. If you haven't noticed, we're not in our normal filming studio. We're actually in the Ram and we're traveling down to Florida to meet with our good friends. You might know them as Distinction Applied. So we're going down, we're doing a lot of cool content with them. But on the road, we got some really cool news, or some really interesting news that we wanted to just get to you guys right away. Now obviously some of this stuff has been coming out over the past few weeks. We've seen some of this and then some of it's like really new. So probably the coolest thing, talking about the patents that they have released. So back, as almost close to a year ago, we saw some other patents where they were doing some air induction forwarding into the engine. They were doing a couple other things with the Jeep vehicles. But the ones that came out recently, we noticed on a couple websites, the Motor Authority and the JL Wrangler forum. The biggest one is a modular hardtop system that was patented. So this modular hardtop system has a very kind of wide array of intricate pieces that all click together, that all remove, that separate, and then you can store them a lot easier. I know Ryan and I, and my dad and I, who's sitting and driving right now, always have a huge issue pulling the hardtop off of my Jeep because that thing is ungodly heavy. That thing is insane to pick off. So having a modular system that breaks away in more pieces are probably going to be a good thing for the Jeep Wrangler. Now, is this just a patent for patent's sake, just to put it on there, that way no one else can try and copy it in the future? Or is this something coming for probably not this generation Wrangler unless they do another refresh, but maybe the 2028, codenamed the J70, as a lot of people have said, and it's been on some official documents. But what do you guys think about a hardtop like that? I've always been upset that the Sky One Touch got those back side windows that could be removed from it. I don't understand why they couldn't put that onto the regular hardtop. You could pull out those back side windows, give you more of an open air feeling, and then when you take off your top, it would be so much easier and so much less weight to pull it off. So that's an interesting patent there. And once again, I wonder if they're doing it just for the sake of doing it, or if it's coming for that next kind of Jeep vehicle, or maybe a refresh here in the future. We still haven't seen that refreshed Gladiator. But speaking of concepts and speaking of kind of pieces that we've been begging for, and we actually debated even making it ourselves, they've also placed a patent on the brush guard. So remember that drop-down brush guard that was at SEMA? They actually put a patent on it. So that drop-down brush guard that covers the whole grille, the way that it works, the way that it's molded and kind of fits and functions, that has been completely patented. So we went on, we were looking around at it, and yeah, that's on there too. So will that be coming as a Jeep accessory? I hope so. I think a lot of people have also hoped so. I think that would be a good addition to it. And yeah, I wonder what else of those older patents that have kind of been coming up through here are going to be added to the newest lineup. We'll just have to wait and see, but I'd imagine with this next news I'm going to tell you, hopefully some bigger and better changes are coming. Today I wanted to thank our video sponsor, Onyx Off-Road. Even when we're traveling, we're heading 1,000 miles away, we are always planning our next off-road adventure by using the Onyx Off-Road app. Now I have this pulled up and I am looking at the Ocala National Forest, which we've had an awesome chance to explore, take the opportunity to check out some roads and some terrain that we could never have gotten to or gotten home from without using the Onyx Off-Road app. A huge props to Onyx Off-Roads for supporting our channel for as long as they have and creating the best application for you to be able to explore confidently when you're out of your home territory. If you guys want to save a little bit of cash with the holiday coming up, Onyx Off-Road always runs specials, and if they're not at the exact time you go to subscribe, be sure to use the code DRC20 to save 20% and help support your boys. So probably the biggest news of today's video, I actually got a couple messages from our viewers was, and some of them were like, let's pop the champagne because of this news. It was that the Carlos Tavares, the CEO of Jeep, has abruptly stepped down. Now, normally a position like this, a high up position, CEO, something like that, you're gonna give 3, 4, 6 months notice, even a year resignation, so they can plan a committee, they can go out and look for someone, they can find a replacement, yada, yada, yada. He abruptly resigned. So he submitted his resignation and it was like a, hey, I'm done kind of thing. Now, why is that so important? Well, it's even funnier. I shouldn't say funny because we'll have to see how this plays out. But 3 days ago, there was a post on JL Wrangler forums that Carlos Tavares went around and met with a couple dealerships. That was 3 days ago. And then a day ago, he stepped down. So I am curious if that talking to dealerships and going to a few like boots on the ground was that much of an effect to him to say, man, this is not looking good. I don't think I'm gonna have a job too much longer, so I'm gonna resignate from this job. Or was it just a, my goodness, this is really, really bad. I think it was probably a mix of the two. We talked to dealerships, obviously our dealership affiliate partner, Dan Cummins, you know, you guys have been doing a great job factory ordering, all that fun stuff, but the sales are just, they're not there. Jeep is not offering incentives. They're not coming out with cool models that are available on all trims. The prices have skyrocketed. And in fact, they said this year alone, the Stellantis stock has dropped 40%. That is a major share decrease for all of those shareholders. And they're looking at this as a business venture. So if you're a majority shareholder or even a minority shareholder that holds a lot of stock and you see a drop by 40%, something's definitely wrong. And I think they're going to look right to the leadership, and that's probably what they did. And he was just like, yep, I'm out of here. So I found it really interesting over like a one-day resignation, and the fact that also the board accepted it, that the board was like, hey, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You need to get out of here. So the CEO, or the temporary CEO, is going to be John Elkman. Now, he is still a member of the board, and he actually was the CEO when Fiat was around. And I'm saying that because I think Fiat did a pretty good job of running Jeep when they did. They ran it from 2012-ish to 2020. Correct me on my dates if I'm wrong on that. But in that time, we saw the refresh of the JK, larger screens, new exterior, the Rubicon X, the Rubicon Hard Rock, all that other fun stuff. And then we saw the release of the JL. So while Fiat was in charge of all that, we saw a lot of upgrades. See a lot of upgrades and a lot of technological advancements compared to I wonder if like the last nail on the coffin is just like Jeep's publicity right now and their PR, because we do a video the other day on like that 41 4xe edition, and like it is just so blatantly obvious that the company is not listening to its consumers, to its buyers, to the audience, to the current owners. And something needs to be fixed, because that brand reputation is not only being tarnished for Stellantis, but if they're trying to keep this brand for a while or they're trying to sell it, it's still bad news. So you don't want a company that is not doing well, because it's not going to be easy to sell, it's not going to be easy to fix, and obviously if it's not making as much money, it's harder to make things work. So I read somewhere, it was on Yahoo Finance, it said that 40% dropped $10.6 billion, a forecast for a cash burn of up to $10.6 billion, mostly due to slow sales and bloating inventory in its North American market, the group's profit powerhouse. So obviously Fiat, obviously Stellantis, and all of them know that the North American segment is a powerhouse for profit. The Yahoo Finance guy that wrote that article doesn't have to say that. We're a great area for profitability here in North America because we buy this stuff. Like, we're driving right now in a Ram 1500. Go overseas into Europe and see how many Ram 1500s you see putting around. See how many 392s, all that other fun stuff. It's not there. They have higher restrictions, they have different things like that, and they just don't buy this stuff. So it's a bit interesting for me to see just how bad they've kind of fumbled the ball with the North American market. Now, what does this mean for the future of Jeep, and how does this kind of affect things? I know people are saying pop the champagne, let's see what happens, yada, yada, yada. I think there's obviously a lot coming up. We got the start of a new year. We've got still no 2025 392, no juice, no mojito, none of these other colors or things coming out. I think whoever or whomever steps into place for that CEO really needs to do a good job at listening, and they need to start with their audience base. So they need to start talking to guys like us that are filming, that are buying these Jeeps, that are driving insane amounts just to go work and buy parts for Jeeps. And they need to get back to their roots and do it in a way where they can kind of include more options, more trims, and get that Jeep buyer to be more enthused about purchasing. So it's more interesting to see this like a one-day resignation. And I just think it kind of sent shockwaves around the automotive community, more as like, man, it's that bad that he just resigned, because I think his job was on the line too. Ryan, what do you think? I think he kind of knew that it was like he's one step away from being gone anyways, so you might as well just resign and call it a day, because honestly, I know it's probably like to Jeep and to Stellantis, there's a lot more brands in it. There's Ram, there's all these other companies, but I just think these continuous blows of pushing specific models down the consumer's throat is just awful. You know, I think that that's what they've been trying to do. Limit options, limit engines, limit this, limit that. And I know too, on the back end, there's a lot of penalties. There's a lot of EPA fines. There's a lot of this, that, and the other that we don't ever see. But I don't think there'd be an EPA fine if they came out with another 41 edition Willys alongside the 41 edition 4xe. I don't think that would have been a fine. I don't know about you, Ryan. I'm not an expert in fines, but I think a 2-liter turbo that gets 26 miles per gallon, probably would have been okay, or 24, whatever it gets. What do you think that also this means to have such a turbulent market where a CEO steps down that quickly? I think that's kind of the biggest news in Jeep news today, but then also, you know, we're looking forward to some stuff too. So while we have 2025 coming right around the corner, we have not seen the refreshed 2025 Gladiator, so we're still not sure what's coming for that. There's no 392, there's no Juice, there's no Mojito quite yet, and then the 41 colors kind of been like trickling around, and same with the Fathom. We started to see some Fathom sports here and there on different dealership websites. But what are you guys most excited for in the year 2025? Are you excited for like a new CEO to step in and maybe correct the prices, correct what Jeep's been doing? Maybe they need to fix and just really go back to the drawing board, but I hope they don't go back to the drawing board and just keep having meetings about it. I think all the ducks are going to fall into a row, and I do know that that chairman, that Gentleman Elkman, I haven't heard too much about him. These guys are all very, very high up in the Jeep structure and powerhouse. I think I just need to maybe listen to the engineer that decided to put blue drab on the hood of the 41 edition, because that guy, whoever decided that, knows what the Jeep heritage is, and they know what it's about. And whoever also nailed that Jeep ad on the 41 4xe, they need to be promoted too, because that was perfect. So maybe we'll give them, they get a pizza party for that, Ryan, right? But anyways, guys, we're headed down right now to Florida. We're just passing through Georgia, and we wanted to drop this news as quick as we could. We have some really exciting stuff coming for the channel in 2025. Probably in December, we're gonna have more of a growth period right now, where we're just kind of getting ready, we're getting set up, we're selling a lot of product, and we have some really cool new products for you guys that are gonna be coming out in early January. That brand new 2025 build that we have. So if you guys wouldn't mind, please continue to submit all your World War II, families, relatives, friends, all their information, because we've got so much piled up of that, and we're going through it and really figuring out how we can incorporate that into our build. So we're so excited with that. And also just stay tuned to the website. Right now, Ryan, you'll be posting this video up probably tonight or tomorrow. So the Black Friday deal is live on the website, so 10% off DRC10, and that'll get you off merch, products, whatever we have on the site. So save a little bit of cash there, get them before Christmas. And yeah, we appreciate you guys watching this one. This is Jeep News coming at you live on the road. And until next time, though, my name is Matt, Ryan's in the back, and we want you, and Dad's over there driving. And we want you to get out there and earn yours.